In early 2023, the world watched as a large white orb drifted slowly across the skies of North America. This was no ordinary weather balloon. It was a sophisticated Chinese high-altitude surveillance platform, a silent intruder that floated through what was believed to be secure airspace. The incident, which ended with an F-22 fighter jet firing a missile to bring the balloon down off the coast of South Carolina, sent a powerful shockwave through the international security community. It was a stark and visible demonstration of a new kind of threat, one that exposed unexpected vulnerabilities in the air defenses of the world's most powerful nations. For days, it captured public attention, and diplomatic channels buzzed with frantic activity. The appearance of the 200-foot-tall balloon over sensitive U.S. military sites was more than just a diplomatic embarrassment. It was a wake-up call. Beijing insisted that the object was a civilian airship for meteorological research that had been blown off course by strong winds. However, American intelligence agencies firmly rejected this claim, stating it was part of a vast global surveillance program orchestrated by the Chinese military. The incident revealed that while Western nations were focused on threats from missiles and aircraft, a much simpler technology had managed to bypass their multi-billion-dollar defense networks entirely, operating undetected for a significant period. The slow-moving, high-flying object presented a unique challenge that existing systems were not configured to handle effectively. This single event dramatically escalated tensions between China and the West. It provided a tangible symbol of Beijing's growing technological ambitions and its willingness to engage in bold intelligence-gathering operations. The discovery that the balloon's payload contained commercially available components from American and Swiss companies further complicated the matter, highlighting significant failures in export controls designed to prevent dual-use technology from falling into the wrong hands. It showed that even with regulations in place, determined states could acquire and repurpose technology for military or intelligence purposes, creating a complex web of global supply chains that could be exploited for strategic advantage. The balloon incident forced a fundamental reassessment of what constitutes a threat in the 21st century. The Stratosphere, a near-space region once considered a quiet frontier, was suddenly revealed as a new battlefield for espionage and geopolitical competition. Nations across the globe began to question their own airspace security, realizing that they too could be vulnerable to such incursions. The event served as a catalyst, prompting a scramble to understand this emerging domain and develop countermeasures. The quiet confidence in Western technological superiority was punctured, leaving behind urgent questions about defense readiness and the future of global surveillance in an increasingly contested world. In the aftermath of the Chinese balloon incident, the United Kingdom recognized its own potential vulnerability. As a key intelligence partner of the United States and a central hub in the Five Eyes alliance, Britain is a prime target for foreign espionage. The realization that a similar surveillance device could drift over sensitive locations like HMNB Clyde, home to the UK's nuclear submarine fleet, or GCHQ in Cheltenham, was deeply unsettling for defence officials. The incident laid bare a critical gap in national security, highlighting the urgent need for a dedicated capability to monitor and respond to threats operating in the upper atmosphere. This was not a theoretical risk. It was a demonstrated capability that demanded a swift and decisive response. This urgency led to the creation of Project Ether, a cutting-edge British initiative designed to develop its own fleet of high-altitude surveillance balloons, often referred to as pseudo-satellites. The project is not merely a defensive measure, it is a proactive step to enhance the UK's intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. By mastering this technology, Britain aims to not only protect its own airspace but also to project its own surveillance power. The goal is to create a persistent monitoring system that can loiter over areas of interest for extended periods, providing a continuous stream of high-quality data to military and intelligence analysts. Project Ether signals the UK's determination to remain a major player in the evolving landscape of global intelligence. The technology behind these surveillance balloons is a blend of old concepts and modern innovation. These platforms operate in the stratosphere at altitudes between 60,000 and 90,000 feet, far above commercial air traffic and most weather systems. This high vantage point allows them to survey vast areas of land or sea. Powered by solar panels and equipped with sophisticated sensors, cameras, and communications interception equipment, they can be navigated remotely to specific locations. Solar panels, sophisticated sensors, cameras, communications interception equipment. Unlike satellites, their lower altitude allows them to capture much higher resolution imagery and intercept weaker electronic signals, providing a level of detail that is difficult to achieve from space. This makes them ideal for targeted, long-term surveillance missions. Project Ether represents a strategic pivot for British defence policy, acknowledging that the future of warfare and espionage is expanding into new domains. The initiative is about more than just building balloons. It is about developing the expertise, infrastructure, and operational doctrines needed to compete effectively in the stratosphere. Expertise, infrastructure, operational doctrines. It ensures that the UK is not just a consumer of intelligence provided by allies, but an active contributor with unique capabilities. As nations vie for strategic advantage, the ability to control and exploit this near-space layer is becoming increasingly critical. Project Ether is Britain's ambitious answer to that challenge, an effort to secure its place in this new high-altitude contest. For decades, satellites have been the undisputed kings of overhead surveillance, orbiting the Earth and capturing images from the vacuum of space. However, high-altitude balloons offer a set of distinct and compelling advantages that are causing a strategic rethink in intelligence circles. The most significant of these is persistence. A satellite in low Earth orbit moves at incredible speeds, meaning it can only view a specific target for a few minutes at a time during each pass. In contrast, a surveillance balloon can be positioned over a target area and can loiter there for days, weeks, or even months, providing continuous, unwavering observation. This persistent stare is invaluable for monitoring developing situations, such as troop movements or the construction of sensitive facilities. Another key advantage is proximity. While satellites orbit hundreds of miles above the Earth, high-altitude balloons operate at a much lower altitude, typically around 20 miles up. This closeness to the target has profound implications for intelligence collection. It allows for the capture of much higher resolution imagery, revealing finer details on the ground that would be impossible to discern from space. Furthermore, this lower altitude makes it easier to intercept electronic communications, such as radio or mobile phone signals, which may be too weak to be picked up by distant satellites. This combination of persistence and proximity gives balloons a unique edge for tactical intelligence gathering. Cost and accessibility also play a crucial role in the growing appeal of balloons. Launching a satellite into orbit is an extraordinarily expensive and complex endeavor, often costing hundreds of millions of dollars and requiring significant lead time. Balloons, on the other hand, are comparatively cheap to build and deploy. They can be launched quickly from mobile platforms without the need for a dedicated spaceport, offering a level of operational flexibility that satellites cannot match. This lower cost barrier means that more countries can potentially develop and operate their own high-altitude surveillance programs, democratizing access to a capability that was once the exclusive domain of superpowers. This is not to say that balloons will replace satellites. Rather, they are a complementary tool that fills a specific niche in the intelligence-gathering ecosystem. Satellites remain essential for global coverage and strategic early warning, while balloons provide a focused, persistent capability for regional monitoring. The Chinese surveillance program demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of this dynamic, using balloons to augment their space-based assets. The West is now racing to catch up, recognizing that a layered approach, combining satellites, balloons, and other platforms, is necessary to maintain information superiority in an increasingly complex and contested world. The proliferation of high-altitude surveillance balloons is ushering in a new era of geopolitical competition, one that plays out in the silent, frigid expanse of the stratosphere. The Chinese balloon incident was a clear signal that this near-space domain is no longer a neutral territory, but a new frontier for intelligence rivalry. This development is intensifying the technological arms race between China and the West, as each side seeks to gain an edge in surveillance and counter-surveillance capabilities. This competition extends beyond simply building better balloons. It involves developing new sensors, more secure communication systems, and methods to detect and neutralize rival platforms, creating a tense, high-stakes game of cat and mouse high above the Earth. As a crucial ally of the United States and a leading member of NATO, Britain is inevitably a primary target in this new intelligence contest. The country hosts numerous sensitive military bases, is a global financial center, and serves as a vital node in the Western intelligence network. This makes understanding British military capabilities and political intentions a top priority for adversaries. The rise of new surveillance technologies like high-altitude balloons means that Britain's strategic assets are under greater threat of persistent monitoring. Initiatives like Project Ether are therefore not just about projecting power, but are essential defensive measures needed to protect national secrets and maintain sovereign security in the face of these evolving threats. The widespread use of these powerful surveillance tools raises profound concerns for individual privacy and civil liberties. While their primary targets may be military installations, the technology is capable of monitoring wide swathes of civilian territory. The potential for these platforms to be used for domestic surveillance, either by a nation's own government or by foreign powers, is a significant worry. The ability to conduct mass surveillance with a tool that is difficult to detect creates a chilling effect, blurring the lines between national security and state intrusion. This raises urgent legal and ethical questions about how to regulate this technology and protect the privacy of citizens in a world where the sky itself is filled with watching eyes. Ultimately, the emergence of the surveillance balloon as a strategic tool threatens to destabilize the delicate balance of international peace. These platforms lower the barrier to entry for sophisticated espionage, potentially emboldening more nations to conduct intrusive intelligence operations. An ambiguous object in the sky could be misinterpreted, leading to miscalculations and escalating tensions between nuclear-armed powers. The incident in 2023 required careful back-channel diplomacy to prevent a diplomatic crisis from spiraling out of control. As the stratosphere becomes more crowded and contested, the risk of such incidents recurring increases, making clear communication and established international norms more critical than ever to prevent a new Cold War in the clouds from turning hot.